Good evening and tonight, viewers. I'm not James, but you might be. Last time on Let's Play Final Fantasy VII, we saved Fort Condor and decided to go pay Cloud a visit. Our reward was being thrown into the live stream to repair his battered psyche. Anyway, we got the North Star Cloud up there. We got North Cloud here, Southeast Cloud, and Spicy Southwest Cloud over here. First, go north, young gamer. Yeah, we're gonna start at Nibelheim. I probably need to look at videos of the remake just to see how they pronounce it. I don't even remember how Machinabridged pronounced it. Nibelheim, maybe? Go with your heart. Yup, that's the town. Ramson. I want to say Nibelheim gives really big rural energy, but a rural town wouldn't only have one truck. Anyway, let's talk to Cloud here. By the way, interesting piece of trivia about Sephiroth. Both his current and previous voice actors voiced Superman. His current voice actor, Tyler Hoechlin, played Superman on the various CW, DC universe things. And his previous one, George Newbern, was Superman in Justice League Unlimited. I was personally I like the Superman of My Adventures with Superman pretty good, but my favorite's still JLU, just because of the world of cardboard speech. It was beautiful. I don't have much else to say about this scene. Hey, there's Cloud. But no, Tifa's finally gonna nut up and admit that it was not Cloud at Nibelheim. It was probably that other spiky-haired gentleman. Statue of Liberty looking guy. Yup. Poor Cloud. Alright, now we go for some Southwest flavor. Though really, the tides have shifted. This is more like a west cloud now. Maybe even northwest. Hey, we're gonna remember the well. I like how she's sort of duplicating her younger self's moves. And we've successfully recalled the well. Like I pointed out before, it is really easy to mess with your memories. Adam Ruins Everything did a pretty good segment about it. Might still be on YouTube somewhere. I like how the big cloud is more forceful. Oh, hey, it's Cloud Jr. Yeah, sure, let's see it. Let's go to the southeast here. I have no jokes about the southeast. Georgia, Florida, maybe? North Carolina? Who knows? And this window right here. Why, this is Tifa's room. And here's some other children. And there's Cloud. Tifa seems down for some reason. So let's see, we got the kid with the skull shirt. Got the kid that's kind of dressed like a country bumpkin. I guess they're all kind of dressed like country bumpkins, except for the skull shirt. I really think this is kind of a rural town.
Mining community.
Corel was mining. I don't know how Nibelheim makes its money. Maybe just...
Make a plant.
Oh yeah,
It's like natural gas mining.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, I sort of sympathize with this. Like, I was also kind of like this when I was a teenager. I thought that my peers were dumb because they were giggling all the time. And now, as a result, I have no memories of that time of my life. And they get together and like, oh yeah, I remember all that fun stuff we did? And I'm like, oh yeah, I was there too. I definitely existed at the same time you did. That may be why I like this game so much. I see a lot of Cloud in myself. That's coincidentally that's why I don't like Final Fantasy VIII, because Squall. I acted so much like Squall when I was around the time that game came out.
The angstiest of teenagers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same though.
I think a lot of people did that. Ah, the 90s. Reading the newspaper. Then again, they might not have been teenagers, given what happens next. Also, this is the only time this song plays. It's called The Other Side of the Mountain. It's a very beautiful song. And there's Mount Niable. I'd argue she's probably younger than a teenager because I feel like a teenager would at least be smart enough to know that, oh, that's not how it works. But like, yeah, a 6 or 7 year old, yeah. For that skull shirt reveals him as a coward. And then the two country bumpkin kids are gonna flee. But Cloud won't. But yeah, the bridge broke. Let's talk to the Shadow here. So way, way, way back at the start of the game, when he fell into the church, you might remember his inner voice saying, "Back then you only scarred your knees." That's what this is referring to. Poor Cloud. He's getting blamed for nothing.
Left him there.
I mean, he was pissed. See, yeah, this is basically the Cloud's kind of start of darkness, if you will. So he became super violent and angry. And that's why he wanted to enter Soldier. So coincidentally, much like that one Rick and Morty episode, it's a bad memory that lets us pierce through the truth.
So they were 8.
Okay, 8. No.
8? Yeah.
8, you might be old enough to maybe.
No, not really.
Yeah, I think an 8-year-old is just on the cusp of being dumb enough to think that, oh, if I can just cross the mountain, I can see my mom again. Well, I mean, she almost did, depending on your views of the afterlife.
Yeah.
And Cloud is going to start, all your clouds combined and all that. Alright, let's go to Nibelheim here again. Where do we go? Yeah, the reactor. That seems like a good place to go. That's not Cloud. It's fake Cloud. Cloud Prime, if you will. Yup. Keep in mind, the first time I played through, I skipped Gongaga. So I'm like, who the hell is Zack? Why are they talking like I should know who Zack is? So yeah, they bury the reveal in a town I don't have to visit. But Zack is gonna stop Sephiroth for realsies. That's where, that's how Sephiroth got taken down. Except not. Soldier first class, my ass. Oh, Cloud was there. Ooh. Cloud was a Shinra grunt. He was not a soldier. Also, there's a theory as to why he could do this. Remember, he had the preemptive materia on him, so he could get a back attack. He could even preempt the mighty Sephiroth. Yep, he was just a random grunt. Also, now the text stops, it advances automatically. Basically, he couldn't hack it in Soldier. Even though, Sephiroth whipped the the absolute ass off another Soldier First Class, but got punked by a Shinra grunt. I think he'd be downplaying that one in general. Yeah, that makes sense. He didn't want anyone to see him. I guess Sephiroth is nice enough to know that this random Shinra grunt is from Nibelheim, though.
Yeah.
He's not all bad. Then again, this is before he went off the deep end. And there's the photographer who will remain alive in the illusion. But yes, he did save Tifa. I understand why she didn't recall this, because she had just been injured severely. Like, you won't remember things. I fell out of a truck once, and I don't remember falling out of the truck. I can tell you what I was doing before. I can tell you what I was doing after. But for all I know, I did a beautiful front flip out of that truck. See, he's got his mother's head there. Who knows what she's gonna do with it? Graft it onto a doll, maybe? Maybe he's making a statue and he's just missing a head. Sure. Yeah, he's strong enough to lift a man by a sword. Maybe he just blew it in the interview. Maybe there was a written portion he couldn't hack. But the dude's clearly strong enough to kill Sephiroth.
Sephiroth's stupid enough to not let go of the sword.
That's true. Also, but then again, maybe like Sephiroth didn't bring his A game because it was a Shinra grunt. One of them type deals. Alright, I'm gonna triple speed this because this thing's running long enough already. Anyway, Cloud's gonna all your powers combined into Cloud again. But yeah, North Star Cloud there is also gonna form the final Cloud. And there we are. Cloud is back, baby. And how the hell do we get out of here anyway? Like, we clearly go up through the live stream. I don't know how the hell we got out of there. I don't know how I got in there to begin with. But yeah. We made it alright. My deal has been destroyed. If you talked to the Chocobo Nut Job in all of the stores, you can still buy the inventory of each store. Yeah, Tifa's about to pass out because she had a hell of a day. And now Cloud is going to admit to everyone what went down. He sure is. Uh, in the PlayStation translation, one of these lines is, "There's this train we're on ain't making no stops." Let's get ready. I believe I will be doing Tifa and Sid for the next round. And we're told to go to Junon. Alright, I'm gonna swap in give him the Imperial Guard. Oh yeah, I want to, get the ribbon off Barret. Alright, well, I'm gonna do some menuing off screen, get the, materia, all set up, and next time we will not go to Junon. We'll do a side quest. I'm not James, but you might be. Now have a good one out there, everybody.